been doing demos and reference checks and all those sorts of things. And
Okay.
so this is my opportunity to be able to get an outstanding payroll and HRIS software. Of the electronic health records that we have looked at have their own home-built systems. Others do contract out and integrate with other third parties. So that's why I wanted to see what you had to offer.
Sure, great. Yeah, we can definitely help. Now, as far as payroll, are you pretty content or pretty happy on the performance of your system on the payroll side?
No, not at all.
Okay.
There is nothing that I have to say positive about it. It gets the job done. There's a lot of manual work and manual entry that has to occur in order to get the work done, though. So, no, not happy with the payroll.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that has its own set of issues with so much manual entry.
Yes.
Okay. Were there any other points of interest, such as, like, for example, ATS or performance management, workforce management, or anything like that? Or
yeah. So when I say HRIS system, I would like to see all of those components as well, and what companies have to offer. We are looking to get more automated. We do have a learning system currently, so I'm not sure that we would necessarily want to turn on and switch learning systems. But we're trying to use that learning system kind of as an HRIS in some ways of tracking things that maybe weren't necessarily designed to be tracked through that system, but we found some solutions that are helping us at the present time until we have the real solution.
Okay. Yeah, we can touch on that as well. We have a pretty robust LMS module that we can touch on as well. So I guess what probably makes more sense is that we'll keep this as a high-level overview, and as we go through the demo, if there's anything in particular that interests you, we can kind of drill down in that. But some of the things that you covered are kind of in our sweet spot. If number one, our market is kind of companies like you guys, where we go after the small to medium-sized business market. So we have, as I said, we sell this a la carte. So some of the things that you are interested in, we can help you. But again, we'll keep it at a high level on the first demo. And of course, if we need to drill down, we can do that. Was there anything else that kind of interests you, or?
No, just kind of looking at that high level view right now.
Okay. Yep. That's, or as I like to call it, the 30,000 foot view. Okay. So great. Well, without further ado, I'll turn it over to Ashish and Rinky. But, Kara, right? Kara?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Kara.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I have a pet peeve about people mispronouncing my name, so I always have to ask. So, of course, we like to keep these overviews as informal and interactive as possible. So, as I said, feel free to chime in with any questions or comments. And then at the end, we can do a wrap up and kind of figure out what you think makes sense as a logical next step.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'll turn it over to you and Ashish, you and Rinky.
Thanks, Stacey. So, Kara, thanks for providing this opportunity. And here is like what we have in our all-in-one HR automation suite. So this is like on a single database, and it has a complete workforce management from employee master, onboarding new employees. If there are any HR cases, like someone makes a complaint for discrimination or anything, so it has got a case management, and then an onboarding portal where they can log in, upload their forms. And then we have the employee self-service and the manager self-service, where the employees go on a company website. So an example of that would be that for example, if I go on one of our customers' website, they this is what they typically have an employee portal, and they will link an employee login there, which will be a abridged view of. They won't see everything of this. They'll only be limited to the view which shows only these menus to them. So they can update their profile, they can check their paycheck history, they can place a help desk ticket, place a IT form. If they go timesheet management. So from a time and attendance standpoint, are you folks using anything, or is it a set? Okay, and that's more of a biometric or a timesheet management, or?
Oh no, it's not. Well, it's not a timesheet. It is electronic, but not biometric.
Okay.
They scan badge.
I see. Yeah, I mean, we have that ability to integrate everything in the system, and for payroll reasons, if we have to pull up some daily attendance and all that stuff, we can also pull those things out of the system. So for each of these modules, we also so for example, this is an example of their employee login. So if I click on this, there's a portal that is provided to them, and this actually redirects to our server, and the employees can just log in and just enter their data, retrieve their data, update their data. If they change address or something, they'll be seeing an abridged view of what I just showed you. And I'm just going to show you the key difference of employee self-service portal versus the regular portal. So, so this is employee self-service. If a person is a manager, they also have access to the manager self-service. So they can place hiring requisitions, they can place, do the appraisal for their employees, and a lot of other things. And this is where the employees can upload their expense and travel requests. They can enroll for benefits. If you have a new announced enrollment coming up and you're offering certain plans, they can see what plans are being turned on for this enrollment period. So that's possible. And there's a 360-degree performance evaluation. They can do self-evaluation. They can review their past evaluations. And we are also integrated with our LMS system, so it has a training and document that they can see from. So if you see here, the menu does not has, the menu is like a bare minimum, which is required only for non-HR or employees and just for self-service purpose. And this is like a full view where the HR super users will come and sit.
Right.
And then it also comes with a built-in analytics for, so you can compare last year graphics for how your employee count looked like compared to this year and last year. So you can compare it week over week or month over month. The spread of employees by different departments, spread of employees based on joining dates. So there are like a lot of these standard graphics, that the graphs and dashboards, which are preloaded. And if you have multiple locations, you can also have it by locations. And this is by gender. And so these are examples of how they appear there. Now, the system also has a built-in ATS applicant tracking where you can link your career website with the job posting portal. You can screen the applicants based on certain questions being designed. Are you 18 years of age? Are you a US citizen? And some things which you might like to eliminate those. And the system also has a traffic light system where based on these questions, it can categorize the employees into traffic lights, which I'll show you down the lane. That it gives a symbol that, okay, this applicant passes the test, so he gets a green light. This is on a borderline case, so he gets a yellow. And then if someone is, say, below the age of 18, it will just make it red. So you don't have to. This is an example of what I'm talking. So the yellow ones, and then what response did they give? You can view their response. So if there is some sort of a, God forbid, an EEO audit, you're actually ready that you did not discriminate, or it was the automated system which provided this ranking. So if you see that we provide a very high negative score for certain questions, like are you below the age of 18, you cannot employ him. So he gets a -100, which is how we categorize them into a red flag zone. And then you can merit and demerit based on certain questions. That if someone has worked for one of your competitors, you can give them additional merit weightage. So that's how you can, and then it is also EEO compliant. So there are certain questions related to felony. So you can't ask that, have you been accused of any felony in past, that you cannot ask those questions to people who are from Hawaii or certain states. So we also have advanced algorithms to screen the candidates when you're hiring them. So this is an example of that. Now, it is just a one-click posting. You don't need a web administrator or anyone to post your job posting on a career website. So it can quickly take you to the career website where you can just, if you see our list of, so this is how the career website looks like, and they're like a unique portal for each organization. You don't have to maintain it, no web administrator. It's just one click and it gets posted once it's approved. So if you see the job requisitions, they have a status. And if you see these status, one says approval pending, closed, drafted, posted. So posted means that it's on your career portal right now and you're still receiving applications from applicants. And then you can also integrate with like portals. So you see the post button, post puts on your career website, but the post ... is a dialogue where you can add it to your Indeed, or if you have an Indeed account or ZipRecruiter or Career Builder or some job portal where you want to redirect the traffic over to your website.
I'm sorry, Ashish, I don't mean to interrupt. I just had a quick question for you, Kara. So how do you manage your applicants now, job postings? Is that in your CTSI system? How does that work?
No, it's manual, paper applications.
Oh, I see. So you guys post. So you guys post ads like on ZipRecruiter and Indeed and all that, and take it from there.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we can definitely help in that. We can help automate that. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ashish.
Yeah. So this is like, I mean, I'm just scratching the surface of the level of automation that we have. We have a built-in GPS tracker. It will also, so for example, if you are subscribed with Indeed or someone, then once you cut off your subscription, you lose all your database. In this case, you have that, you can retain that database of the applicants who have applied to any of those job postings, whether you hired them, whether it went on a hold. So this applicant pool has a GPS built in. So it uses Google Map API, and it can track their address. So from your location, if you want to search applicants who just live in 50 miles radius from your premises, then you can search those, and the system will propose you those applicants who live in that area. And on top of it, you can convert directly to these employees to your employee master. They immediately add to your workforce, and they're still at this time in a waiting area because there are many candidates who would accept an offer, but they never join on the day of joining or something of that sort. So that is a waiting area. If I, Ringy, can you hover your mouse over on more? But so if I look here, you can see the converted employees. So these guys are given offers, but they are not yet, they have accepted, but you're awaiting their joining on the joining date. And then you can process their onboarding directly off this screen. So again, you can have them fill their W-4 form, I-9, it can do E-Verify, can take their EEO details, like are you Hispanic, and all that information can be captured here. Ringy, can you go in an employee master, right? One of the entries in detail?
Yes.
So this is the core of the entire application, and here you can manage how you want to manage these employees. Rinki, are you going in the detail view?
Yes. Just a minute.
Okay. So on those screen, you can set up the pay period, the time and attendance, their badge management. If you want to issue a photographic badge with their IDs, everything can be just off one screen. And moving on to so this is an example of, so this also, the green box that you just saw, this our artificial intelligence, which actually looks at similar profile of similar employees in past, what their job satisfaction index was, and what were good hiring decisions, how long they stayed with the company. The same thing with our job requisitions. So there's like one button which you might see is a dark green button called AI class. That's a artificial intelligence classifier. So these are some of the advances in the system. You can also track the employees. You see the map icon there. If you click on that, you can actually know the exact coordinates provided if you want to do that or not. So this is like some of our HR customers use it for employee safety reasons. They want to track if some employee's gone out, met an accident or something of that sort. So these are some other advanced features. And then on this one screen, you can define what type of payroll or what type of benefit package if they enrolled in. You can see their historical package. You can see the historical performance. So everything in one screen. Now, coming to performance management, our performance management is highly configurable. You can define different criteria. Rinki, can you go to the actual performance management?
Yes.
So you can define evaluation criteria by different departments. You can define evaluation templates, and then your performance period could be quarterly, semi-yearly, or yearly, or monthly, whatever way you want to evaluate employees, and what criteria. So if an accounting executive is there, you can define him on like bookkeeping, accuracy, timeliness on filing returns, and so on. The same way you can have a registered nurse. You can have certain criteria for the registered nurse that she follows the procedure and all those things. So if I go, can you go in one of the templates? And
yes.
Show one of those. So these evaluation templates carry all the different weightages. And if you want to assign that, okay, these managers evaluate on certain criteria and the self-appraisal happens on a different criteria, you can still have those configurable templates. So,
do you have any questions?
Kara, do you have any question?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Seems pretty explanatory as you're going through it.
Yeah, and other than the performance management, we have time and attendance. You have the capability of mobile attendance. So people can actually log in and log out of their mobile device. It can capture the GPS location where they're logging in from. And it can also be through the web-based login. It can be through your biometric or electronic login system. It can be timesheet management. So there are like multiple ways that, because we have customers who use a hybrid approach. They have certain set of employees who report via timesheets, and another set of employees who report via electronic badge swipe or mobile attendance. So you can have all those things incorporated in the system.
I'm sorry, Ashish, I just wanted to interject real quick. So Kara, so regarding time and attendance, how does that work with you now? Is it a paper trail or do they log in? How do you track that?
So they are clocking in electronically. and then managers have the ability to log in electronically. The approval process is not very good, so there are some paper components that go along with it too.
Okay. Excuse, can you touch on the approval process in HR?
Yes. So we have the workflow that we can define in the system. And if there are 3 approvers, 2 approvers, 1 approver, so every document, even job requisition, timesheets, everything can be subjected to an approval workflow, which is defined by you. And even for the job selection interview panel, we have like automated templates that you can just with one click just copy that. And I just share what I'm talking about. So here's an example of a template for evaluation. So if you want to use this template for quarter 2019 for say accounting, and there's a similar template for another department, you can just click on copy and the system will copy the template, and you don't have to create anything from scratch. You want to schedule appraisals, you can just, so these are the examples of different criteria that you can evaluate the employees on. You can give the weightage scores, and then there is a consolidated view. Eventually you can end up giving them a promotion or a pay raise or whatever type of, and that all that stays with you, and you can check it in the employee history, and you can see that how this employee has performed over a period, and it will give you a complete view since the date of joining.
Okay.
And as I said, like you can just start naming it as you don't have to enter anything once the one-time setup is done, and then you just have to name, okay, this is my accounting Q1 performance. So, this is the template, and then if you want to add a few additional criteria, you can just keep adding those additional criteria on which you're going to evaluate the employees. And then if you feel that, okay, the outcome of this performance is that he should be subjected to a training, the system can see, okay, he has to be subjected to a training, which training. So we have a complete training portal. You can evaluate employees, how well they took the trainings. It can have video-based training. It can have PowerPoints, Word, and, time training, self-paced training, instructor-led trainings. So all those types of trainings can be addressed. And this is about the daily attendance and all the leave policies. It might be a little difficult to cover everything in a short duration, so I'm just covering. So feel free to stop me wherever you want more information.
Yeah, I just had a quick question for you, Kara. So as we're going through this demo, was there anything in particular that, regarding your processes now, that kind of drive you crazy the most, or kind of keep you up at night? Was it payroll, or is there anything in particular on your end?
It's really all of it. I mean, there's no piece of it I'm happy with.
Okay.
So we're complete.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm sorry, Sheesh, go ahead.
Sure. And it also has a shift management. I know that hospitals have night shift, day shift, so you can actually schedule the shifts for that. This nurse is going to work this week in the night shift, another nurse in the morning shift, a doctor is coming in the night shift. So all those things can very well be defined through the shift management. And from our benefits enrollment, you have all the plans. So what you're seeing is what an HR super user uses, but there's also a configuration area. So this is where a super user does not, only a knowledgeable super user can go and make those changes. So even if you want to change your pay calendar or pay setup, I mean, we have everything which is configurable. There's nothing that you have to live with the configuration that we are providing. We can make those tweaks in the system the way you want it. Even for attendance, we can have like a half-day overtime setup, leave policies, time recording. For recruitment, we have what sort of screening you follow, selection process template, mailing the applicants, what type of templates you want to mail the. And then before that, we set up all your organizational hierarchy, the reporting structure in the system. So it sets up everything as per your requirement. And then if you have to import something from your existing system, you want to continue with one of your systems and migrate, use only 5 modules, 2 modules, 1 module, and we want to import the employees from another system, we have those interfaces built in the system that can import those things.
Okay.
So, and this is about the payroll wizard. Again, you cited some pain in the payroll area. So in our case, you don't have to click anything. It's if you want to continue with an existing scenario and we set up this scenario using certain wizards, you can just execute payroll. If you did it last month and there's no change, it is linked with the attendance and it can just with one click execute the attendance. And then the user will see their approval. So this is pending payroll approval. And that's how simple it is. So you can configure this one time and then save these payroll wizards. So these are sort of wizards that we call. And so if you pay hourly employee in a different way or salaried employee in a different way, you can define different pay cycles, pay period, and just save the scenario wizard and just come and execute it in one click. So that's the simplicity in the system, that you don't have to go through multiple clicks to run a payroll.
Okay.
And all the previous paycheck history, if it's subject to approvals, you can also go through those approval workflows. So when we do the project for you, we do the one-time setup. We ask you that, okay, what all things is that you want from us, and we'll just go ahead and set up the scenario for you. And then if you need to make any changes in future, all we do is like we train you or your super user, and they can come and make those changes. If you're changing pay cycle or anything, you can just go and change it. But typically you would not need after the initial setup. It has an exception management also, so it can send you text message, it can send you approvals on your emails. You don't even have to log in the application. You can approve things right off your email. It sends a token, encrypted token, and it will update the status in the system for that encryption. So if there is a payroll, if I would have run, you'll see a list of payrolls, and then you can approve or reject those payrolls if you can select all and approve everything.
All right.
And then we have some standard reports that come out of the system from each of the areas, the case management, workforce management. And then if you want anything ad hoc reporting, we have a built-in business intelligence and HR analytics engine. So you can design those queries, and we train your super user to do that. They can pull off a report directly off the system. It's just a drag and drop. You don't have to be a programmer to do that. The system automatically writes those queries to get you to the right report. So if I just click on this, I can see the HRMS schema. I mean, there is a table help here that if you want, like, okay, what table do I pull the employee details from? So it will actually give you the table help, and you can create your own query. You can set it to be scheduled to be sent out every week. So I just have to search for an employee master table, and the system will prompt me like what are the employee tables. So all I have to do is to drag and drop here, and you see that it generates the HR, the SQL query below, so you can I want this field, I want this field, I want the employee code. So I want an ad hoc report which says that, okay, give me a list of all my employees with the employee code. All I have to do is like now execute the query. The system will generate the name of all the employees. And so this is a simple drag and drop ad hoc reporting, which is a built-in feature.
Okay.
And I'd like to add one thing. Now, keep in mind, as Ashish is going through our reporting engine, keep in mind, you set this up once, and these reports can be automatically generated, and you can have them sent to you daily, weekly, monthly. It's completely up to you. So, and then you can make changes to the reports if you want to add more criteria, but you just do this once, and then everything's automatically generated for you. So keep in mind, automation is the key.
Right. Like that.
Sure.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ashish.
Yeah. So you can, yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of things that can be done with like you can create your custom tables, you can create your custom fields, and coming to training is like you can define all your training based in the system, and you can track the employees. It will update if they undergo training. It can go and update the workforce skill matrix. So you get the employee skill matrix, which will get updated of this employee has undergone these 3 trainings, safety training, or I mean, whatever your training happens, and you want the employees to get adhered. And it can also send you alerts if some employee has missed the training, and it can remind the employees and so on. The best part is that it's all on a single database, so you don't have to be squabbling with like multiple systems to get one piece of information that you're looking for.
All right.
Yeah. So
I just had another quick question. So how many employees are in HR that report to you?
Just one, and that's not a full FTE. That's about a half FTE.
Okay. Okay. And the reason that I ask is, you know, if we're fortunate enough to win your business, then you know, they would only see a certain amount of data. You being a super user, you would see everything. Your employees would only see a certain amount that logged in, and you know, if they had questions or if they wanted to grab forms, you know, vacation requests or whatever, they can do that. All of that's automated. So that's why I ask who else is in HR with you.
and one of the key part is also, so if you choose to say hire a payroll executive tomorrow, and you just want to give him the access to view that information, we have complete user authorization, so we can even go and lock it up to the field level, so we can see what authorization levels, what roles they are being assigned, and they can only view a very limited, or how much data you want to share with them. If it's only a recruiter, you can only limit him to the recruitment part of it. If he's a payroll executive, you can limit benefit administrator. If he has 2 roles, then you can assign him 2 roles here.
Okay.
So yeah. So this is like just all in one system that you're looking at.
Do you have any questions?
I don't think so. I think that there's a lot of there's a lot of different options. So some things that, you know, I wasn't even necessarily thinking about seems to be included in this. So very impressive.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you very much. We have we kind of like to think that we can help get in the minds of HR executives, kind of what you need and what you wish for, and things, and keep it as simple as possible. You know, I guess our 3 big qualities for this particular system is ease of use, automation, as well as artificial intelligence. We're one of the leaders in artificial intelligence. So as you can see, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you never have to worry about. But, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, and I know we did a more of a, high level overview, but, this is a very simple solution. And as I mentioned, we sell it a la carte. So, if there's just a certain few modules that interest you, or if you wanted to entertain the entire system, you could do that. A lot of people, start out with a few modules. You can scale up, scale down. You can add modules as you grow. So that's completely up to you, because every customer is different. So always keep that in mind. Before we let you go, can you share a little bit about about your initiative that you have in place? Are you looking? Are you going to put out a formal RFP, or how's that process work as far as the vetting process?
So we have a consultant who is doing the vetting of different competitors for the electronic health record, and then that is going to drive the direction that we go in with an HR system.
Now, yeah, that's also one more thing that, our system actually comes with built-in hospital management system, and we have the HIPAA compliant HR patient records and the health records and all of those things also built in our application.
Right.
You want to touch on that, Ashish? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Once an electronic health record is selected, then we will be able to know better what direction we can go in and start to look at different options for the payroll and the HRIS system. So first, we have to choose which electronic health record we're going with, and then kind of start going down the payroll system path. Because all the companies are a little bit different as far as whether they have their own solution or they have a third party that they integrate with, or if we would have the option to integrate with anybody that we choose.
Absolutely, and that's where I told, we have certain open APIs, and we can integrate with any application. Like all the modern applications do come with something called APIs. So we have these APIs where we can integrate the system to any system.
Okay, great.
Yep. Thanks. Well, Stacy, do you have anything? Stacy, you there?
I'm sorry, Ashish, I was on mute. My apologies. So I just had a couple of questions, and then we'll let you go. So so I can get a better understanding of this. So the company that kind of is the leader on the electronic health record side will more than likely win the business?
No, not necessarily,
Okay.
because a lot of them integrate with other solutions for payroll, finance, and HRIS. So
Okay.
they all have solutions for payroll. Some of them do. We'll have to see what company is chosen for the electronic health record, see what their solution is, what they do, kind of, because some don't have one at all. Some say, we'll start from the very beginning and look at solutions, and then we'll choose one. So they're all a little bit different.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you. So as far as your time frame, have you thought through how long this process will take and when you would like to have something implemented?
We're looking at 2020, so probably summer of 2020.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, of course, we would definitely like to continue the conversation. As you can see, we have a lot to offer, and I know it was a lot to absorb in just a quick little 30-minute overview. But I'd like to just drive home, Kara, that this is a very, very simple solution. It's very user-friendly. We designed it with that in mind too, because you already have enough things to worry about on a day-to-day basis, as well as worry about a bulky system that's hard to learn. So We like to drive that home. We can also, manage things in terms of your budget. I don't know if you've thought through exactly how much you'd like to allocate to spend on a solution like this, but we can definitely work within your budget requirements.
Mm-hmm. Have standardized pricing information that you could send over to me?
Sure, that's fine. That's not a problem. So, are there any particular modules that interest you most, or you want just an overview or overall price of the entire system?
If we could get an overall price for the whole system, and then if you do have an a la carte pricing as well. I mean, there's modules that we would need and that we would want. There might be something there that we decide, we really don't necessarily need, but it'd be good to look at it from all directions.
Okay. Yep. Absolutely. I'll get you two options. One per module and one for the entire system. So that's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm making notes here. So I'll get this over to you. I can definitely get it over to you before the end of the week. We are actually going to another conference, a DC Showroom conference tomorrow, so I'll be out of the office. But when would you like for me to maybe circle back with you?
If I have questions after I look at your numbers and things, I'll send that back to you. Maybe late summer, August, maybe a time frame that I'll better know what direction that we're going in as far as the electronic record.
Okay. Just curious before we let you go, some of the other solutions that you looked at, how do they compare to what you've seen today?
I've seen a couple that are very robust, so I would consider those somewhat similar to have, and then I've obviously seen some that were not as robust.
Okay.
We're looking for a very robust system that has all the features to cut back on paper and do most things electronically.
Yep, that's right. That's right in our sweet spot. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, this is a cloud solution. However, we have an on-premise option as well. But for the cloud option, as you know, there's no hidden costs. There's, no additional hardware needed. There's a one-time setup fee and then the monthly subscription. So, and then of course, anything on the customization side, that's separate. But it's very simple to get you up and running. The implementation time would not be very long. So definitely keep that in mind as you do the evaluation of other providers, because I've talked to many people that said that, they thought the implementation would be, pretty easy and smooth, but it wasn't. So with our solution, we take care of all of that. There's not a lot of, double entry, and there's one big upload that we'll do in terms of the data. And then, you'll be ready to roll. All you need is login access, training, and we'll help you get up and running. And then everything else we take care of behind the scenes. So keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Awesome. Ashish, do you have anything else to add before we let Kara go? He might have had to jump off. I think he had another call. Well, great. Well, thank you very much for your time. What I'll do is I'll send you a little bit of information on HR Day. It's our brochure. I'll send a link to the HR Day website along with pricing.
Okay, great. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kara.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye now.